Alright, wonderful fuckers. Welcome back to practicing artwod beginner roadmap grind node. Alright, draw 20 single rounded boxes. From imagination, I'm doing the more complex version. Well, I'm pushing the boundaries of everything, right? Join me. Join me in drawing, practicing your fundamentals, right? There's really there are two things that people do. They somehow, for some reason, continue to listen watching even though they're not practicing. Listen watching, what the fuck does that even mean? Or they just click off and continue to practice whatever bullshit they already practice without much improvement, right? There's really only two things I expect from anybody who clicks on these videos, is that they understand the value of the fundamentals and they will practice them, or they continue to do some useless practice that doesn't improve it, or they're much better than me and my advice is completely useless to them. If that's the case, please, I implore you, teach me everything you know, because I do not know everything. I just know more than you. Actually, clearly I don't. Otherwise, I know how to make money. But yeah, I've realized that I've come to hate beginner artists more than anything. I've come to fucking hate beginner artists. Always bitching, always complaining, but never actually doing anything to fix it. TBH, fam. That's my completely biased opinion. But yeah, draw along. I'm already started. I have already started. Clearly. But yeah, it's not that as if I've already gone on so many fucking tangents about beginner artists. It's just the more, like, on the Broken Draw Discord, because I actually noticed this a couple days ago, right? Somebody had drawn boxes and cylinders for literally, and I shit you not, for literally, I'm just gonna memorize this, right? Might as well start with the simple ones whilst I draw. Yeah, they had done the fundamental exercises, right, for a whole week. That's right, everybody. They had practiced for an entire week their boxes and cylinders. And you'll not believe what their question was. When will I get better? I feel like I've done a lot. Right? Am I on the right path? Well, to be honest, one of those questions is completely fine and innocent. Honestly, all these questions are relatively innocent. But the understanding is what's not innocent, which is fucking retarded. Which is, how do you expect to get good in anything if you've only practiced for a week, you dipshit? It should have been longer. But it's not bad. It's okay. Wait, how the fuck do you expect to get good at anything if you've only practiced for a week? Pray tell, right? Let alone the fundamentals. This is 2 years and 10 months. It is what, September 9th. My friend's birthday is on Friday. Good for him. Or this coming Friday in 3 days. But how do you expect to literally how do you expect, especially in art, to get good at anything in a matter of weeks? Now, don't get me wrong. You can get a lot better, right? I didn't say that you can't get better. You could 100% get better. I'm trying a diagonal here. See, my lines are so thick, which is not good. I don't know what the fuck I'm drawing. I'm just filling in the space while I do this little beginner intro thing. I just want to bitch and moan as I do, but might as well practice my lines, which are pretty subpar, and that's the best part. I'm really glad they're subpar. If they weren't subpar, then there's no improvement to be had. But yeah, don't get me wrong, you can get a lot better in a specific amount of time, right? But to expect to have intermediate or advanced proficiency, and I'm not saying this is what that person expected, but I've seen enough people talk like this on the Broken Draw Discord, which has been completely hijacked by kids. Like fucking anywhere from 16 to 19-year-olds, and yes, I consider those children. I too was 19 once. I can reflect on it and think, damn, that is a pretty young age, but I'd say it's mostly teenagers. And there's like a couple people who literally just fucking talk, and just they've killed all discourse on anything else, Right? There's some people there, as always, who are just gonna fucking complain and just complain that they can't do it. They can't do it. Why are you in an art Discord? If you want therapy, don't fucking go to an art Discord. Okay, go and cry in a pillow because clearly you don't know how to work hard, and you don't know. Actually, I don't know your situation, but I'm just gonna assume that you don't know how to work hard in this specific context. If you're bitching about art. Am I judgmental? The answer is more than necessary. Will I stop? The answer is most likely not. No, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Yeah, the point is, I've been doing this for 2 years and 10 months, right? November 1st, 2022, I started. It's 2025, September 2nd, 7th, 9th. What the fuck? September 9th. Jesus Christ, I just got a date aneurysm. And this is the level of skill I have. I've been using this brush pen for, as I started 2024, I've been using this brush pen for almost 2 years. No way, fucking way. No, I started last year. Didn't I? No, I didn't. Holy shit. I've been using this brush pen for almost 2 years, bro. Holy shit. 1 year and 11 months. Right? These are the lines I can make after a year and 11 months. Absolute garbaggio. You know, but that is how you learn. That is literally how you learn. I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say anymore. I just wish people would stop asking stupid ass questions in that Discord. This is just a complaint. I'm gonna have to talk to Tyrion about this. Your boy Broken Draw. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing opening a Discord and not spending your entire life moderating it? Some people. But yeah, I guess I'll segue that back into the fact that the vast majority of people who click on these videos or watch my content probably will never actually do the work that I do. They will make excuses. Some excuses may be that I'm different, right? I've seen that amongst my friends, right? That not everybody can practice the way you do. Actually, literally everybody can practice the way I do, just everybody chooses not to. Not that my way is the best way, it's just a very, very, very good structured way, right? I'm gonna come to you in like 20 years and be like, well, look, here's all the things I also wish I did, right? That's normal, that's natural. That's called just growth and, you know, hindsight and all that shit. But you can't just live in hindsight. We have to live in the knowledge we have now. And the knowledge I have now is practicing fundamentals, very important. Right? Who would have thought? What a fucking shocking revelation. But yeah, anybody can practice the way I do. Literally anybody. I don't know what the point I was trying to make was, to be honest. I think it was just people who watch my videos will likely not actually practice. And that's about it, I guess. It's just, I really wish in the future, those of you who are listening or watching, and I really, really hope you're drawing along. If you're not right now, if you've gone this far, fucking draw. Practice difficult things, which is most likely art fundamentals of spatial reasoning, right? Everybody, literally everyone can improve on that, you know? And everyone will struggle with that, right? Fucking Kim Jong-il took 27 years before he could rotate any form, any type of manipulated form from imagination and create any type of form and genuinely understand it. 27 years of obsession is what it took him, right? And that he wasn't even quote unquote practicing optimally, like perhaps I'm doing, right, with only spatial reasoning practice, but it was his obsession, right? And wanting to understand. That took him 27 years, even so, what the fuck? What the fuck was that lisp? Even so. But yeah, I really hope I really, really, really hope any of you listening, that's not supposed to have a little indent, in the future are practicing long. Genuinely, I hope that you are, because you are doing yourself a disservice if you aren't. And more than anything, you're doing, what am I trying to say? You're just wasting your time. Yeah, you're wasting your time. You can only hit your untapped potential if you practice. It's as simple as that. Untapped potential only remains untapped when we simply think about all the things we could have done, right? Yeah, I just hope you're practicing along, and I hope whoever is listening in the future genuinely internalizes the merit of what I say and the practice that I'm doing, right? Again, my words will mean nothing right now. I understand that. I understand that everything I say is just going to be in one ear, out the other to you fuckers. But I'm gonna be here continuing to practice like this, improve exponentially, drastically while enjoying the process, and you are not, right? If that pisses you off, good, get to drawing, you know? If it makes you feel like, who the fuck is this guy to talk to me like this, to say these things? He knows nothing about me, nothing about my life. Who the fuck are you? The answer is I'm nobody. And yet I'm still gonna beat you in this game of art. Because I simply practice what's important, and I enjoy the practice. Let's not forget that. I've trained my mind to enjoy the practice. Right? Have you? Have you trained yourself to genuinely enjoy art? Because if I am correct in that vast majority of people who practice anything, especially art, because they're all fucking whining about it on the Discord, if I'm correct, many of you don't actually enjoy practicing at all, and you find ways, and everybody keeps calling it boring. Everybody keeps fucking calling it boring, which it isn't. Which it very much isn't. Because it's difficult. Look, I'm trying to figure out right now. I just fucked up a logic, and I'm trying to figure out how this can make sense. Maybe that way. Because if it was boring, you'd be able to do it 10 times over. You know what's boring? Tying your shoelace. Have you ever complained about tying your shoelace? That it's boring? No, it's easy. You don't even think about it. Right? Do you think about drawing the same thing that you draw over and over? No, it's boring. That's boring. You see? That is the boring thing. Not this. Never this. Because this is difficult. My mind is dying. Because I'm also fucking talking while trying to come up with interesting shapes. Right? Keep the perspective in mind. Already fucked that up a little. But yeah, if any of this pissed you off, good. I'm calling you out. Who still hasn't picked up the fucking pencil. You know? Oh, I fucked up the perspective. You know? Or the pen. Again, ideally pen. But I'm calling you out, you who hasn't picked up the pen. And who probably won't pick up the pen because, again, you're too much of a pussy to try to fail. This episode, I'm going to intentionally antagonize whoever's listening because I feel as if you need this little fucking... You need the pep talk, right? You need to be reminded that you had goals, aspirations, none of which you have hit, and none of which you're even practicing optimally for. Okay, that's a shape. Is it interesting? I don't think so, but it's a shape. So now I have to analyze that, right? Again, I'm doing the difficult thing. Yeah, I guess TLDR, despite everything I just said, right? A, if you're not practicing, get the fuck to practicing and learn to enjoy it. You know, focus on the effort, focus on the errors, and that's all that matters. Just keep feeling good and telling yourself it's a good thing that the effort and the errors are all that matters. And do your best not to make mistakes, but when you do, you feel good. I'm gonna keep repeating that same shit over and over and over and over and over. Right? That's literally the best way for your mind to learn, dipshit. That's the best way for your mind to learn. Fucking look up the science, god damn it. And even if it wasn't scientifically true, it's still good for you to think that way. I'm riling myself up, god damn it. Vicky, just get to art. just get to the art. But what I'm trying to say, I'm gonna end the, I guess, quote unquote rant here, is the fact that anybody who's listening or watching this in the future, A, I hope you're drawing along. B, I hope you're practicing the difficult things, right? It doesn't just have to be spatial reasoning exercises, but of course, difficult things, whether it's shape manipulation, whether it's the figure mannequin, just something extremely difficult, rotating it. It's all spatial reasoning. The art hack is spatial reasoning. So obviously I'm biased because this is the hack, right? You know, like at least in terms of creating representational art. Lighting and all that shit can come later. Just go to artwod, god damn it. I forgot to shill them earlier. But I hope you're practicing along. I hope you understand the merit of what I'm trying to say. And if you're coming from the future, you're likely here 5-10 years from now because you know I'm already the GOAT. Simple as that. right? Not that I'm the greatest of all time, but I'm just extremely good, most likely, right? You have to have a little bit of a cocky personality. But I know I'm not going to be the GOAT in the sense that nobody's really the GOAT, right? Even Kim Jong-il had things he could have learned. And he wanted to keep drawing. I'm sure even before he passed away, he loved it, right? That was his life. But that's just my way of being cheeky. But whatever. The point is, you're coming here from the future because you know I'm already fucking amazing, and you know that I backed up my words with actions, right? So I'm sure the people from the future will be taking my word very seriously. The people now and within the next month, even within the next year, who chance upon this, and the fucking 2 people who actually get to this point, are either practicing along and challenging their brain, have clicked off because they're tired of me saying the same shit and they're not going to improve, right? Or they're just entertained by my rambles. There's no in between. You're either practicing, you're not, or you're just entertained. And for that, I say thank you, I guess. I'm entertaining. Look, I can't even fucking muttering. I'm entertaining. Look at that. Anyways, I'm memorizing this shape, and we're gonna rotate it. But I don't know what the logic I made here is, so I should figure that out as well, right? What the fuck is this logic? I wanted to create a little diagonal, but that doesn't really make sense. It really doesn't make sense. If anything, this should have gone down. Yeah, that's what it should have been. But the thing is, once you understand form, it can make sense, I believe. But you know what? We're just gonna memorize this and then we're gonna figure it out afterwards. Can't do everything, right? So let's just memorize. Okay, I'm giving myself 20 to 30 seconds. Really analyze, try to understand everything I did. See, this is the difficult part, where you really just have to kind of take it all in. And I'm using my brain a lot right now, don't get me wrong. I'm really thinking hard about what this shape is. Because again, I keep making them more and more difficult, right? I don't know if this one's that difficult, but... yeah, and while I'm speaking, I'm analyzing too, which is a skill in of itself. Okay, this is actually pretty difficult. Which is, repeat after me, a good thing. If it wasn't difficult, it would not be worth doing, right? If it wasn't difficult, it would not be worth doing. Gotta keep reminding you of that, because I already know that. Oof, see, I already forgot so much. Okay, I don't know if there was a diagonal here. Let's see. That, right? And then we had... right there. Okay, so the lines are off and the perspective is clearly not the best. But... I think it was something like this. And again, gotta keep thinking about the perspective. I always try to do it in a way that's difficult. Okay, so I fucked that up too. Because again, I need to not noodle the lines, right? I need to not kind of do that. That's a habit that needs to be kicked. Right? And then So this is the part that's difficult because it's basically diagonal. You know, it's something like this. This is the logic that needs to be figured out, right? Because of course I can just do something like that. I guess we can connect it like this, right? I guess. Doesn't really make the most amount of sense. What happened after? I think there's something on top of this, right? So I don't think there's anything here. And that comes back around. I don't think there's anything. This could be wrong. Like, I'm already certain that this is pretty wrong, but we're gonna keep trying to remember, right? Because this shape already is pretty difficult. Okay, well, I looked there. Not inadvertently. That was, like, I didn't want to, but I still glanced there. I already know that one of the mistakes I made over here, but that's okay, because that's how we learn, right? So I'm sure I've forgotten a lot. I just know there was something over here that I drew. The funny thing is, because I was drawing that shape while ranting, it's hard to recall exactly what I did because I was distracted with the rant itself, right? So next time, don't bitch about beginners, just focus on yourself, apparently. What a shit life lesson. Let's see. I think I had... So, something like maybe that. And then is this where the shape came out? Oh no, maybe I think this thing went all the way up like that. I think this was connected. I think the shape was connected, like instead of it being separate like it is here, I think it was connected. But either way, I've done what I've done. Oh, that's converging way too fast. Right, and then we got something like this. And trying my best. I feel as if this should have been longer too over here. Try my best to remember, but my perspective is actually getting thrown off. And again, that's a good thing. I want to keep reiterating that every mistake I make just gives me a giant boner, right? It's unsustainable in terms of the economy, because I don't know how much the world can handle my fucking giant throbbing veiny hard on for art. But I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm sure I know this is extremely incorrect. I think the only thing I got correct was just these two shapes. Okay, wow, that was okay. So the idea was there, but well, first, yeah, proportions are off, but I completely forgot that this was a diagonal. So that's the big thing, actually. Yeah, see, that is the shape. I was right. It's diagonal, and then it went down, and then it came down. So it was diagonal all the way, came down, and there was one, there's two, and okay. Oh, and this is on the wrong side as well. We wouldn't even see this. That's good. That's very difficult. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. And I encourage you to do so as well. Because scientifically, that's good for you. Right? But nobody believes anything I say, apparently. I actually wonder how many people are gonna take the advice that I give now versus the people who are gonna be fucking wishing they took my advice 5-10 years from now when I've proven that my advice is correct. And again, it's not my advice. I say my advice, but it's just the advice of people who are 10 times better than you and I. Right? Just extremely fucking good people I look up to, and I just listen to them, and I don't be a little bitch about it and can be as beginners do and be like, is that really how it works? right? I've gotten a lot of advice that some I question, but the general consensus and the things I research on my own, if there's a consistent fucking message that being said regarding understanding spatial reasoning, regarding how to shade, right, regarding lighting fundamentals, not that I've learned those yet, but if there's consistent things and artists are proving over and over to you again that those consistent things are what they have in their foundation before they launch pad and create their style, i.e. what they choose to focus on, right, or omit in their art or like their visual art or whatever, then maybe, just maybe, you should pay attention to that. It's just a possibility, right? Like, what the fuck do I know? I'm just created really, really, really interesting shapes in a matter of 2 hours and what has it been, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 25 minutes. Yes, I'm a god. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. Fuck bitching about beginners. I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, let's do another difficult shape. I want to just keep practicing rotating from memory very difficult shapes, whether I understand them or not, right? But let's do I don't know. I'm trying to think of the box I want to put this in. Let's do something like this, I guess. Now I have to think, right? Because I created a diagonal. It should be something like this. You see? I problem solved on the spot. That line was incorrect, but it's okay. We just ignored it. Right? Okay, now this diagonal is actually incorrect. Never mind. I'm a fucking waste of space. Let's do something like... That's pretty cool. We could do something like that here too. Let's go, and then I'll bring it back. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then this will... something like that? Okay. But how do we want to do this? I think it's probably best that I just finish it like that, right? Yeah, that makes sense to me. And then for the back, we shall do this. And you see how I'm making so many mistakes with my lines and my perspective, right? Astronomical amount of mistakes. You know, and the thing is, I don't blame beginners in the sense that, and I've said this so many times, but it's just the things I think about, right, when it comes to art. I don't blame people who feel like they can't learn. I don't blame people who don't know how to learn, because I literally was one of them, and art was the one thing that made me realize that I can learn, okay? So I don't blame people when they don't know, but I do give people shit, and I will throw the word blame in that direction when they fucking do know, right? When they have answers thrown at them by people that they want to be like, or even people who just are fucking leagues above whatever they could do, and they question it. They fucking question it as if they have the right to question advice that's given to them. You know, I'll be honest, I got a lot of fucking advice when I went to Fan Expo. And I didn't agree with all of it, but I did understand that there had to be merit to what was being said, because these were industry professionals who had spent decades longer than I had, right? I still disagree with what Jean-Paul Deshong, Deshong, right? Jean-Paul Deshong, right? This guy, he's a comic book artist, I believe. Right? I still disagree with him when he said you shouldn't date your art, stop talking about how long you've drawn. No, I will never stop doing that because people need to know how long it takes. I'm sorry, Jean-Paul. All right, I agreed with a lot of what you said. It was a great conversation. I fucking respect your work, and I really, really appreciate the fact that you give advice to a beginner like me, but I do 100% disagree with it. But I still respect it, right? I'm confused by it, sure. You know, being confused by advice is, I think, completely fine. Only because I did it. If I didn't do it, then I'd be giving you shit for that as well. But I think it's important to just listen to the people who know more. It just, at the very least, to hear them out, right? It's fucking stupid to just think that you know more than people who've been in the industry for longer, right? The reason all the artists I spoke to said things like, dude, you're on the right path, keep going, you know what you're doing, right? You're gonna kill it. And not one of them said, like, have you considered practicing your spatial reasoning? Every single one of them were like, this is the way to go, right? So they were just, some of them were just concerned I was sort of pigeonholing myself in terms of my mentality, which I understand. I understand that concern, right? But at the same time, because I've proven myself, right? And this is the operative word, because I've proven myself to be someone who takes the craft seriously, I have earned their respect as well, or at the very least, their support. So stop being a dipshit beginner, I guess is the TLDR, right? Stop being a dipshit beginner. What a beautiful, beautiful lesson to learn. Yeah, this shape does not look interesting at all. Unless I do something like this, I think. That was a mistake. Okay. See, perspective is being lost. Right? But it's okay. I'm just gonna connect this. And I guess we'll call it a day. That shape is really lost. I don't even know. I don't want to rotate shitty shapes, if that makes sense. I don't want to rotate shapes that don't make any sense. And I really lost the perspective on this, for sure. Now, I'm at a roadblock myself, right? Should I rotate this shape? Because yes, it would be a good challenge. I'm always up for a challenge. Right? Let's see. Then shit, yeah, see, it just doesn't make sense. I've done a really bad job with the shape itself, figuring out the logic. You know what? I'm still gonna try. I'm still gonna do it, because if I can draw it again, but with the perspective being correct, which is the biggest error of this entire thing, is that perspective is just fucking abysmal, right? Then that's a win. But you see, even with all the practice I've made in perspective, I still made very, very huge mistakes. And that's good. There's always more to learn. Yeah, I'm gonna stop fucking ranting about beginners. I think everything I've said holds true. I think everything I said is how I feel, and it's something I can always fucking talk about. But the TLDR is learn to enjoy art and stop questioning the things that work. Again, I love giving this example because it's the truth. You don't go into a martial arts gym and tell the fucking sensei or the teacher or the whatever, right? When they're like, "This is how you throw a punch," you don't tell them, "I don't think so," right? You say, "Okay, how?" Like, is it, you say, "Is it like, do you mean like this?" And they say, "This is okay, what, correct this and think about this." And you're like, "Okay, like this." And then they're just like, "No, a little bit more like this, but that was on the right track," right? That's what you do. That is how you learn and become a student, right? A good student. But whatever, fucking those of you listening now or in the future, right? You either understand or you don't. You know, you either make an effort to embody that for the rest of your life, a concentrated, genuine effort, or you don't. You know, I feel as if it's just redundant. I'll make a video on it, obviously, when I'm quote unquote much more proficient, right? Because my word doesn't mean shit right now, but it will. It 100% will. When I have proven beyond measure that I am an excellent draftsman who can draw from imagination vivid scenes one could only imagine. No pun intended. But anyways, let me focus on remembering this. See, like, everything I did is just subpar. I just don't like the design of this at all. But I think it's obviously down due to the perspective as well. So yeah, let me actually pay attention. Really, really, really pay attention. It's difficult, but I have to memorize. Okay, that's all I get. That is all I get. And again, every time it's covered, it's just like a fucking... Yeah, it's like a kick in the balls. It's just like, oh shit, it's covered? See, I already don't remember. I already don't remember. But... let's see. Right. And then... there's a shape here. Let's see. Then something like this, right? Okay, this is where I really got to take the perspective into account. And this is why I fucking love training perspective. You can't hide from it. It's the one skill in art. It's one of the many skills. Let's not be super dogmatic, right? But it's one of the many skills in art that you just can't hide from. No, you can't fake perspective. That's the thing, is I guess what I'm trying to say is you can't. And then what was it here? Was it something here, like a cutout, right? What was it? Let's try to remember. Recall is important. So what was it? Well, I know this. Right. And then we can just extrapolate that to over here. Right. But recall is extremely important. Now I know this had a cutout, but there's something else. This I know there's this I know I did something like this, right? Like that. Bring it back down, and then again like that. See, I remember that. It's weird. Sometimes you remember the things you don't expect to remember. Okay, and then I can do this as well. Is that? I guess technically we'd see a little bit of that. But I can do... you know what song I have stuck in my head right now just because I said I can do? The fucking I can transform, yeah, I can transform, that song. Why is it stuck in my head? See, I fucked up the perspective again. No idea, literally no idea. But I can transform, yes? That is it's a truth. Okay, and then we have something like, it was something like this, right? Where I brought it out, like so. Let's just, I guess, get this done. And then is it, okay, well, so that's wrong. I just know that's wrong now. And this perspective I fucked up again. I think there was a, oh, I think this had this had a little dent in here. I'm pretty sure. Again, the thing is, the biggest thing to keep in mind is it's because it's all about perspective. You can't fraud what you know. Right? So I always have to keep the entire box in mind, actually. The entire box has to be kept in mind as well. And that's amazing. I'm just gonna connect this. Yeah, it's a perspective is off there. I don't know what else the shape was. I'm sure there was like a lot of stuff here that I completely forgot, and I'm gonna look at it and be like, oh yes, but I'm trying to remember. And then I need to remember what this was, which was jutting out, then in, then straight. Well, what was this? Okay, well I can do this. I can do that with relative confidence. And then again, we have something here, which I'm not going to do yet, actually. Okay, it's just, what is this shape? I actually don't even think this connection is correct. But it's okay. You know what? It's the idea. I'm still slowly getting the idea down. So was it something like come here, and come out? This is probably wrong. Something like that? I have no idea. No idea. No idea. Right, and then I don't know. I think that this logic still follows. And then we have this. Right, so something like this. And then no wait. This logic still follows, right? Yep. Okay, so then we have this, connects here. Yep. Okay, so to look at the perspective, keep it in mind, and then connect it. You know what? I'm not going to connect the back. That actually doesn't even make sense because it's so thin. Let's just see what the shape was. Ah, yes. Completely off here. All right, completely off. I knew it was off. I knew something was. Oh, and I forgot this. Okay, so. Oh, yes. Okay. So it wasn't. Yeah, there you go. Okay. That makes sense. I got this right, which is nice. I got this right. I got that right, but everything else very off. So because I was so focused on that. So yeah, this came out, and then we had the little thingies here. I got this right. I guess we can just kind of be relatively proud of that. Okay, cool, wonderful. Let me rest my brain. Yes, 44 minutes. Okay, I guess I'll spend the rest of the drawing just doing slightly less complex shapes, right? And then just trying to memorize and rotate them. So I can fill the page up with that. I think that's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. Yeah, Kim Jong-il was not wrong. Recalling 30 to 60%. That is definitely the average, right? Sometimes more, sometimes less, but the skill is to essentially bridge that gap in recall, right? So, and again, I'm gonna keep focusing on diagonals until I get it down. I feel as if I'm being a bit lazy in my mind's eye. Let's see. Okay, so something like this. Is that accurate? We'll see. Oh, okay, well, that rounding was off, which is good. Now, the funny thing is, I know many people will take a lot of what I say wrong. They won't understand that this is someone who was a beginner and is extremely passionate about beginners not fucking wasting their time. You know? And by the way, if you're doing art as a hobby, and just purely as a hobby, where you do not give an absolute shit about getting better, then there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make it very clear, right? Whatever I say is tailored to the people who want to genuinely, objectively get better, right? They want to get good. They want to reach their art goals, and then they don't do the work. Those are the people that I'm bitching about, complaining about, right? Saying need to have a mentality or a mindset shift, right? Those are the people that I guess I'm bitching about. Yeah, because why would I complain about people who are okay with where they are? I can't relate, and couldn't be me ever, right? But if you're honest and you just say, well, that's cool and all, I understand that this specific work is what goes into getting good at art, right? Just like it takes fucking 500 backhands and 500 forehands consistently every single day to become a professional ping pong player, right? I understand that work and the merit of that work and the importance of that work and the necessity of that work. I understand that, but it's not for me. If you are that artist, right? But I don't want to do that. I don't want to get better efficiently. I don't want to get better faster. I don't want to do the difficult thing. If you are that person who's that level of casual or hobbyist, then 100%, this is not for you. this is not for you at all, right? You don't need to you can just continue to suck your own dick and enjoy it, because I'll be watching. But if you're the artist who is not that, and you want to do the work, then shut the fuck up. Then shut the fuck up and do the work. Don't question the work, just do the work. And learn to enjoy the work. Like, literally learn to enjoy the work. You know what I'm doing right now? That's extremely fucking difficult. Calculating in my mind at all times. Calculating whilst ensuring that my lines are not garbage. Right? Extremely difficult. I'll have you know. Extremely difficult. And fucking up the perspective. Right? All of that calculation just to mess it up. And you know what the best thing is? Is that I did that. Okay? That I genuinely made an attempt to calculate. You know how difficult it is to talk while drawing? To explain what you're doing while drawing? To visualize while drawing? Extremely difficult. Why am I doing it? Because it's extremely difficult. Right? And I'm gonna keep doing difficult things. I'm either gonna die and I won't hit my goals, or I will live and surpass every single one of you. Hashtag deep. I actually didn't even know where I was going with that. I just wanted to say something about dying. I don't know why. But the point is, fucking what the fuck. The point is, I'm better than you'll ever be. And if that pisses you off, once again, good. Prove me wrong. In fact, prove me wrong by not doing what I do. The best way to prove me wrong is to get better than me, faster than me, by not doing these practices. But I guarantee you, because I'm patient and because I take my time with every single concept I've been learning thus far, I will, in the long term, absolutely fucking shit all over you. I guarantee you. And again, if that pisses you off, good. Get to work. Practice. Watch me become great. Keep me on the background. Alright, yeah. Pretty fucking accurate. So again, I can do this level of quote-unquote complex. So we can up the ante. Damn. It's already been 50 minutes. My only concern is, the thing is, I want to fill this page up and just fucking get it over with. Not because I'm in a rush per se, but because I want I don't want to spend another fucking hour dinkly doing the bottom of this page. Right? Maybe I can just practice a bunch of diagonals as well. You know what? I'll practice a bunch of diagonals while actively thinking about the perspective. That's actually should be really good practice. And me keeping my line continuous. Oof, that's actually going to be very good practice. Yeah, see? So that was a huge fuck up right there. And we shall... Yeah, I'm gonna force my brain to calculate faster than it has ever done. That's what I'm gonna do. That's a good way to use up my time. I'm gonna force my brain to calculate faster than it ever has before. Why? Because by brute forcing this, the assumption is that it will create neuroplasticity. Right? I will learn to a pretty great degree. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I think it makes sense. The point is, I'm just making things hard for me. That's basically the point, right? So, again, I do want to be able to draw and think faster, but we have to brute force that, right? You can't just think fast and draw fast because you want to. You have to be able to see everything you want. You have to be able to place the marks that you want, and to get there, you have to fail an insane amount of times, right? And that's what I plan to do. That's what I plan to do. This is what's gonna build my... This is just another way to build my perspective skills, right? Just constantly fail. There you go. And then that can come up from there, and then... Ooh, see, that feels so good. That's such a fucking horrible mistake. That's amazing. See? So this is good. I'm doing it in angles that are very difficult for me as well, right? And again, it's all about doing it in ways that you don't usually think of. Look at that. And that's a diagonal that I've never really practiced before. But now I am. And again, this all comes down to the box. Right? This all comes down to the box. That's way too subtle. Therefore, it is not good. And I struggle with this angle so much. The curves I make need to be better. Right? That's pretty subpar. But we're just gonna keep going. And again, reinforcing that we feel good when we make these mistakes, because that is the truth. It's all about seeing calculating, failing millions of times, and then trying again. Right? What else can I do? Oof, that would be pretty hard. How come I never thought of that? Yeah, I don't know why I never thought of that. Like jutting out diagonally and oriented diagonally? That's incorrect, obviously, because the line is so small. Oof, that's really, really good practice. I'll do like 3 to 4 more, rest my brain, and then fill this entire page up as much as I can with multiple single roundings. The joke was gonna be multiple roundings, but I keep fucking forgetting that these aren't multiple roundings. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess going back to what I was talking about before, again, I just want people to know that there's a very clear path to excellence. Like, I genuinely, that's all I want. The whole point of this channel, and I keep saying it, is to prove that it works. Is literally just to prove that all the shit that the artists we look up to say works. That's it. That's all I want to do. Okay? My greatness is a byproduct of that proof. That's it. Like, I don't know how many more times I have to make it clear to anybody watching, right? My greatness is a byproduct of the proof, not the other way around, right? The proof is always going to be there. It is in the pudding, you see? But, fucking them, I just ruined my own little motivation. Also, I'm distracted. But yeah, seriously, the proof is always going to be there. I literally am just trying to actually show that when artists say they did X amount of work, that they literally did it, and that this is the work they're talking about. That's it. That's all I'm trying to prove. Okay. That's pretty trippy. But let's see. See, I'm just trying to think fast, create accurate multiple roundings while I think fast. Of course, they're not accurate, right? Calculate as fast as I can while keeping the box in my mind. And fuck that diagonal up, right? It's all... Whether I'm, practicing memory rotation drawings or just working on improving my ability, there's always something that can be done just extremely uncomfortable, right? Always something that can be done which is extremely difficult. That's it. That's all I want to showcase. There are a million ways to genuinely make, especially art. See, like my lines, I'm trying to make them continuous, but it's just not working out how I planned. That's amazing. Right? Didn't even plan for that, but there you go. Right? It's all so difficult. It's all so difficult. And that's the best part. See, these lines are fucked. Again, I just have to calculate on the fly. Right? And then we can do something like, there you go. We can even have a couple more from up here. This one should have a bit of foreshortening, or it should be a bit thicker, right? Yeah, there you go, see? And then we can do, oh, I know how to make this even more difficult. See? How many fucking angles do you have to account for to think about this, right? Oof. Now that is fucking hard. Let's not forget doing all of this while also trying to make sure my lines are clean, right? Which they're not, by the way. And I'm also doing this while thinking about the box. So, if I can do it, you can do it. That's the other thing. And the gist of everything I bitch about is just getting frustrated that people don't believe in their own ability, to be honest. That's basically it. And getting frustrated that people think this ability is so unique and special. It isn't. I'm going to rest my brain. I'm going to come back to this, but it really isn't, because it's important to rest. Yeah. Oh, see, it's already been an hour, but I got to fill the bottom of this page up. So yeah, I'll be right back. And I encourage you to rest your brain as well. But yeah, you can tell I'm really, I've after 200 videos, but this is technically video 199 of actual, not shorts, not live streams, right? But actual videos that I posted, right? Not like Q&A special, none of that shit. Just practice, just my genuine practice. This is video 199. So what does that mean? This is my 199th hour since December, 17th, when I started my channel, 2024, right? By the way, again, there's like an additional 30 hours completely not recorded at all, right? Like an extra probably like 20 of just practice I've done on my own time. That's basically this, right? Fundamentals practice. And then there's the hours that I don't record from my sketchbook, but I do post on Instagram. So everything that you see on Instagram, assume that's also minimum like an hour, right? Minimum. Unless it's like a stream thing that I said, like unless the description is, oh, this was a good stream, then it's probably minimum at least 2 to 3 hours, right? But I'm trying to document as much as I can, right? The whole point is 10 years from now, absolutely everybody will know exactly what it takes to become a really, 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 really good draftsman / artist, right? Just that. Nothing to do with lighting, color, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? My timelines, I tend to overestimate myself, so maybe those things will be involved, right? But purely in terms of draftsmanship, the whole point of my channel is that I don't know, I suck dick. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. There you go. And again, right, just trying to make it as accurate as possible. You know, as best as I can, of course. But that's the whole point. I know there's like a million points I keep saying there's the whole point. But really, what am I trying to say? The point of my channel, the point of everything I say is that if I can do it, you can do it. That's really it, right? And what it is, you know, the correct mindset around learning, yes, and I guess I will use that word, the correct practice, right? There is correct practice. There is correct intentional practice, right? So yes, the correct practice around learning, right? And yeah, and how to have fun. Literally, yeah, the mindset thing, like literally how to enjoy learning, right? And even knowing what learning is, which is failure. Learning is countless failures. I love this quote, right? The master has failed countless more times or infinite more times, whatever. The master has failed many more times than the student has ever tried, right? I can guarantee I've failed a lot more than you've ever tried. I'm not a master, by the way. I'm just saying in general, I can 100% guarantee that I've failed a lot more than any of you watching have ever tried. Because those of you watching are not going to be professionals. Okay, the people watching my content are not going to be people wondering how to get good. They'll have already gotten good, right? So I'm not too fucking concerned that people who are really good at art are watching. I mean, technically, Parkett, what the fuck is his name? Parkett. He's one of the people I follow on Instagram. He's one of my fans, I guess you could say, right? He's actually very good. But the thing is, he practices. He literally, what, like 4 days ago, he sent me a fucking message on Instagram, being like, "Does this look right?" And it was an addition. It was, should I just draw it here? I might as well, right? It was, he had a box like this, right? And then he had another box coming out, and he was just concerned. He was like, "Does this make sense?" I don't even know what his angle of the box was. I think it was something like that, right? And he's like, "I don't know if this makes sense." And I was just trying to say, "Yeah, it does make sense. You know, don't worry about it." And he's like, "It looks kind of wonky to me." I'm just like, "The reason it looks wonky is because of XYZ, right? But it makes sense." And that was basically the conversation. And I'm like, "Keep it up. You're killing it." And he's like, "You are too." Right? But the point is, he does the work. Like, and you can see on his Instagram that he does the work. Right? So people like him, see, like, he's already so good. And I really like his art a lot. I like what he's done. I like what he practices. And I like how he practices. And I like his I like his style a lot. The way he abstracts his forms, it's really impressive. It's really enjoyable as well. It genuinely is a treat to watch him, to see his art. But you see how it's because he put the work in. I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say anymore. Whatever. The point is, you can do it. Just stop being a little bitch. Right? Stop questioning all the methods that are very clearly proven to be very, 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 very good methods. Right? Stop questioning all of that and watch yourself transform into someone who can learn to enjoy the process. There's one thing I actually really disagree with Alex Hormozy on. I was listening to a podcast and he was talking about how like, you have to do the boring work to get good, right? But he's not wrong. You have to quote unquote do the you have to do the quote unquote boring work. But he stressed that it's not fun, and he's like, the science shows it's not fun. I'm like, I think he missed the part where the science also shows very clearly that you can make it fun depending on your mindset, right? I respect the fact that he has a great work ethic. You know, he has an incredible work ethic and he's worked hard. I just don't like the message he was sending there, which is the work is boring / difficult, rather than the work is difficult, therefore it's stimulating because you can make it stimulating. Just a little, I guess, criticism, right? It doesn't have to be that way, my friend Alex. It does not have to be that way. Okay, see, this is very difficult because, again, it's all intuition and calculation. So I fucked that up. Let's see. Nope, that's wrong. 2. This is good though. This is really good practice. I'm genuinely struggling here to draw these rounded forms very fast with clean lines, right? It's an honest to God struggle, Right, I didn't even mean for the curve to be like that. Let's see. This is gonna be a bit of a longer episode, I guess. Right. Well, if that's what we're doing, then I gotta make sure I... Okay, so... Okay, I fucked that up too, which is good. I fucking love art. Okay, now the only thing I need to do is calculate something very specific, which is... I'm gonna try to do it fast. Not bad. Ended up being pretty decent. I'll just make this my last shape. I would love to fill the page up even more, but I think this is enough. And I've actually started scanning my drawings too, which is good. Because my fucking... We all know my goddamn pictures. If any of you are on the artwod Discord, you guys all know I'm fucking shit at taking pictures. Right? So many mistakes right there. So many mistakes. It's amazing. Oh man, I fucking love art. See, that's a mistake too. They're all mistakes. Every single one of these are crazy mistakes. That's the best part. Okay. I guess I'll call it there. Right, maybe I should add one more thing. Right, which is... There you go. Oh, see, fucked up perspective there. Good stuff. Good. Oh, connect that. There you go. Good stuff. So, yeah, I never mean to fucking complain, but I always like to argue and rant, right? No, I actually really enjoy talking about all the things that I just talked about. I like repeating myself. I like making it clear my thought process, my journey. The thing is, it's funny. Even while I was bitching, I was still explaining exactly what I was doing. So I hope my process was enjoyable, or at the very least informative. But yeah, I stand by everything I say now. Maybe some opinions will change, evolve, mature, right? Because I'm very mature. But either way, all I want to say is if I can do it, you can do it. This is the it that is very important, right? If we're gonna enunciate, but yeah. Have a good mindset. Learn to enjoy the effort. I hope whoever future past, what the fuck past? Yeah, technically past, and technically future. I guess it all applies. This is a video that will be fucking for the what is it? For the sands of time, right? That's the saying, I think. But yeah, for those of you who watched, right, or listened, I hope you listened and drew. I hope you watched and were entertained. Either way, I hope you learned and put a lot of effort into your art, because that's all that matters. I'm gonna keep saying it. The effort is the reward. That's all that fucking matters. And with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money, bye.